Okay, hello everyone. I'm Christian and my business is CJPixel.Dev. I transform ideas into digital success, and I do this through the offering of digital marketing and WordPress services. So I'm sure you've probably heard the sayings, the best things in life are free and nobody does anything for free. And I guess for both statements to be true, then the former statement is simply referring to things which haven't been created by people, like the best things in life are nature or even laughter. But regardless, I dispute the latter statement anyway, because lots of people create something for free every single day. And in the development world, this is typically open source contributions. So simply put, open source means that the code has been distributed to the public and is therefore capable for any developer to clone, change, develop, and evolve the code under the terms of its license. And whilst open source software doesn't always mean it's free to use, it may have just been that the code's been distributed. However, sometimes the software is completely free to use as well. And that's because a community of developers have created the software and continue to develop and support the software, mainly because they believe that anybody should have access to such a tool for free. So yeah, I don't buy nobody does anything for free. And here's a few examples of free open source software that you may be familiar with. So you may have used Mozilla Firefox or VLC Media Player, Linux, GIMP, and even WordPress. So whilst this may have been a tangent from my services, I feel like these community of developers deserve a moment of recognition and praise for what they provide the public, often without people even realizing. But yes, it wasn't a complete tangent, because this brings me to the main reason that my web development services specialize in WordPress. So open source was a big kind of selling point for me. But here are a few other reasons that I choose to focus on it. Its portability means that migrating websites from one server to another is quite straightforward. There's a large suite of plugins, which is very expandable for those who don't know how to code. It's extremely customizable, as it doesn't put you in a sandbox. You can use it as you wish, which also means you can break your website quite easily if you don't know what you're doing. Mass adoption. As of February 2025, 43.6% of all websites on the internet use WordPress, which is truly staggering given the array of website builders there are now, like Squarespace, Shopify, and Wix. And lastly, it has a huge community of developers. In 2022, people from at least 229 companies contributed to developing WordPress. But let's take a step back for a moment so that I can explain what is WordPress. WordPress is a web content management system, which began as a tool to publish blogs. Thanks to being open source and having a community of enthusiastic developers, WordPress has since evolved into something much greater than just a system for publishing blogs. It actually has the flexibility to be whatever you need from your website, whether it's a website of property listings, an e-commerce store, membership website, podcast website, or booking system for your services, and more. WordPress is essentially, it's a structured collection of folders and files containing code primarily written in PHP, which is a programming language. So instead of boring you all with technical details about PHP and the folders and files that make up the foundation of WordPress websites, I thought I'd oversimplify it with a practical analogy. So imagine your house for a moment. The foundations of your house is essential for its stability and support. And in a similar way, the WordPress core files provide the fundamental structure that allows everything else to function properly. And the exterior and interior design of your house is what defines its style and aesthetic appeal. Similarly, in WordPress, themes dictate how your website looks and feels, allowing users to customize the appearance without altering the underlying structure to the website. The rooms in your house serve specific purposes. So your kitchen for preparing and cooking food, your lounge for entertainment, bedroom for resting, and etc. That's kind of like the plugins in WordPress, adding specific functionalities and features, enhancing the capabilities of the core system, just as additional rooms can enhance a house's usability and comfort. And then your furnishings are what makes your house livable. In WordPress, that's kind of like your content, your text, images, and videos, your articles. That's what engages your visitors and provides value to the website. So much like how furnishings create a welcoming atmosphere in a home. And then lastly, the blueprints of a house is a bit like the database in the way that it contains all the detailed information about the structure, layout, and systems, the electrical and plumbing diagrams for your house, while the database in WordPress stores all of the critical data like your post pages, user information, plugin settings, and more. So I hope this metaphor has given a better, albeit shallow, understanding on the makeup of a WordPress website. I think it's now important to quickly go over some best practices. So number one, I'd say be mindful of the plugins you use and how many you use. People often get carried away with plugins when they see how many there are available and what they can do. However, every plugin is introducing more and more code to your website. So it'll not only bloat the size of your website, but also potentially slow it down. And another point on that is it's a potential for more and more security vulnerabilities as well. So on security as well, adding a security plugin such as WordFence to your website will improve the security at no financial cost. And it also enables you to add two-factor authentication to your website's login. So that's highly recommended. Also, schedule regular backups of your website to prevent data loss in case of a crash or a security breach. And use reliable backup plugins that automate this process, ensuring you can quickly restore your website if needed. And it goes without saying, make sure your backups are on different servers. Also, ensure your website is mobile friendly by using responsive themes and testing how it displays on various devices. A mobile optimized site improves user experience and even your search engine rankings. And lastly, use a staging website to make any changes. A staging website is basically a clone of your website where you can make all the changes on that clone and you can see how it looks, make sure it's all responsive and working properly. And then when you're happy, you can publish that and that will clone over the live website. So all your changes happen in one go. So to finish off the presentation, I thought I'd quickly run through some of the web development services that I offer. Web design, development, and hosting. It's pretty much everything you need to either get a website from scratch, redesign an existing website, or even just migrate a website from one server to another. Website content management and SEO development. For a website to truly thrive and rank well in search engines, it needs a consistent stream of fresh and engaging content curated for your target audience. So articles are a great way of getting new content out there. And with the SEO reporting I offer, we can monitor the performance of the content and continue to refine and improve the rankings on Google over time. Email marketing is typically a very overlooked marketing method, in my opinion. And I'm a big believer in a strong email marketing campaign for many reasons. One is you actually own the mailing list that you build over time, unlike your social media followers, which are beholden to that social media platform. If Meta decided to take down your account, you can't really do anything about it. But also with email marketing, you get very good insights whereby you can tell who opens emails and clicks on certain links. So you can target them even better over time. And 3, it's a very low cost form of marketing, which can be extremely effective when done properly. Also, other services like implementing a chatbot into an existing website is also something that's become popular over time, along with putting in a booking system so that you can market your services. And yeah, so with that in mind, I just thought I'd point out that every business and industry is unique. And whilst a chatbot or mailing campaign might be good for one business, it may not be good for the other, which is why I also offer digital marketing consultancy, whereby I research and assess your business and industry. And during the session, we discuss different ideas to make a truly effective digital marketing strategy. I know it may seem like a lot of different services, but transforming ideas into digital success is my business. And that means I have to be adaptable and knowledgeable about the continuously expanding range of tools at our disposal. So that draws an end to my presentation. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention and ask if you have any questions.
Superb. Thanks, Christian. Really interesting. Can you stop sharing? Then we can see if anyone's got any questions. So brilliant. And there you are in your hammock. Any questions for Christian?
I have one.
Go on.
Yep.
Do you have a particular kind of industry that you work with, or like, is there a particular sort of group of people that you prefer to work with?
Yeah, well, at first I was kind of focusing on therapists, so anyone like in the healthcare industry, because they typically needed a kind of booking system for their services. I just thought it was a good industry, they're doing a good thing, and yeah, they were like ideal for the kind of booking systems that I use. So them and life coaches were like who I was kind of targeting, but I've kind of branched out a bit more now as well, and it never meant I wouldn't do a website for someone in a completely different industry. But yeah, that was like a kind of area that I was trying to target, and because I kind of focus on growing my LinkedIn in that kind of field, I will still continue to do some kind of like marketing in that kind of like direction. But I think I am in general thinking about kind of trying to broaden it a bit more so I can get into SMEs, because yeah, I kind of found that like a lot of people who are kind of self-employed as well in that kind of industry, normally they're on a bit of a DIY budget for websites and stuff, and it's kind of making things not happen quite as much. But yeah, thanks for the question.
Andrew, did you have a question?
Yes, I was going to say two. In fact, you now made me want to say two things, just following up from Kamal's question there, because and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Christian, but I remember when you very first started, you did push very much for doing the diary and the online booking system, which I thought was great. But I'm tying that in with what my statement stroke question was going to be. Was you said at the end that apologies if it seems that you're doing quite a few different things rather than specializing in one. But on the other hand, I think you actually are specializing in one, but you're offering all the connections that I personally would find very difficult. Somebody to host the website, somebody to do the SEO, somebody to do the email marketing campaign that links. Because for me, as a totally different business, struggle. I've got to get somebody to do this, somebody to do that, somebody to do that. Then I've got to get them to talk to each other. I think what you've got is actually really good. Yeah, so I wouldn't apologize for it in the first place. I think it's actually something that some people like me would need. If I was really into web development every day, I may need somebody to help me with the SEO or somebody to help me with email marketing. But as a small business, I don't want to have 5 or 6 different people to deal with what I see as my digital marketing, if I can put it like that. So I would say I learned quite a lot with your presentation, because I keep hearing different things from different people, different specifics. And when you can get somebody who can integrate them all together, for me, that's a great asset.
Yeah.
So
no, thank you.
I would take that as that. But my question to you is, how long does it take to sort of try to get to underneath in a business to try and understand that where they want to get to, that how to then take it further forward for them? Because it's always easy for somebody to say, do it this way. And you go, well, it doesn't quite work like that. So you've got to get together to understand it, to then say, oh, okay, you now know where I'm trying to get to, and you know it from your terminology. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's my constant battle.
I think it's not
maybe
like
it's my words are not getting it across properly, but
no, it's okay. Yeah, thanks for feedback. And I think it's not, there's not like a single answer for it. Like, oh, it'll take me 1 week to understand the whole business and stuff, because obviously like it's completely different for each company. And I feel like one of the a big factor for one thing might be like number of employees and stuff, because like, you know, it might be like how many different systems people are operating on the kind of system, or, you know, sometimes you need to get the kind of whole kind of culture to buy into kind of using a kind of, say if it was putting in a booking system and stuff, but they always did it this way, and like kind of getting them all to use the same way and stuff. But on your point before as well, I kind of felt like at first I was kind of in the early days of my kind of self-employment, I was kind of like trying to portray my work as if I was a business, and like there was more of an agency behind me. And then I kind of feel like that's the wrong thing to do, and it's kind of a bit disingenuous and stuff, and I shouldn't be doing that. What I should be doing is playing to like what is actually a strength, instead of recognizing it as a weakness. And that's that, like, you know, like there's only one of me, and the more things that I can do and more expertise that I can bring, like the more kind of hopefully desirable it would be to work with me. And like I say, the fact that you can't split yourself down into like multiple people, like just kind of, yeah, over time, hopefully I'm hoping I can kind of show more of what I can do and get more in demand in that kind of sense. But yeah, for like different companies, you know, what they do, and I feel like a discovery call, you find out a lot about the kind of company in the first place and stuff, and it wouldn't take too long necessarily. But like maybe if it was like more SMEs and stuff, and they employ like 10 to 50 people, and you know, they've got physical locations here and there and stuff, obviously you're not going to get the full picture in one discovery call.
Yeah.
So I know that doesn't like properly like give a definitive answer, but
no, but it's great, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Just a quick question, Chris. I'm assuming the nature of your work that you can work with anybody, anywhere. You're not kind of restricted. So, yeah, because we have got, we've been trying to update our website for years. Basically, our website, our digital marketing isn't the best. Lawyers aren't the best at doing things like that, shall we say? And it's been something we've been looking into for a while. So I might be coming back to you
Have a
bit
little
more,
chat.
but
I feel a one-to-one
yes,
coming, don't you,
but
Sarah?
I'm not guaranteeing it will be
Of
done
course.
any quickly,
Yeah.
because we've been doing talks and speaking to people about digital marketing, and following from what Andrew said as well. It's like, yes, you meet people who say, well, we can do this, and then you meet somebody else who says you can do that, whereas you're kind of saying, Christian, that you can kind of go the website, the digital marketing, which is fantastic to be able to go, right, there's one person to speak to about it. So I think that's really great.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. And if you want to, you know, I'll send an email and we can try and arrange a one-to-one at some point. But yeah, like I say, every industry is unique and stuff, and like it'd be good to get to know more about, you know, law firms in general, like, and you know, I'll do a bit of research and see what's kind of like the most practical ways for digital marketing in that sense. But yeah, I can always do it remotely. In answer to that question, it was just like there's a few other services which I didn't even mention, which I offer as well, which is like, yeah, so like photography for like the website and stuff, you know. I used to do a bit of photography anyway. I don't want to step on Andrew's kind of services. I normally add it on to like, oh, if you need some fresh pictures for your website and stuff, I would go over, and that's the only thing where I kind of feel like, obviously, I can't do that. Yeah.
No, that sounds great. Thank you very much.
You go for it, Christian. It doesn't bother me because your presentation was great, and I like the fact you had visuals. So well done.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm going to stop recording then. Thanks very much, Christian.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Guys.